fans, Adam Driver's ugly. If you are a Disney sequel trilogy fan and think Kathleen Kennedy's somehow miraculously going to keep her job, go away. Just go away. Because obviously money doesn't mean anything for you. Okay. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about Filoni and the kerfuffle over the issue with the Rangers of the New Republic. Oh, please hit like, and if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe too. We love that here. The Wookiees cheer every time we get a new subscriber, so it's great. Well, I'll talk a little bit about what could be happening. I'm gonna say it this way. Filoni probably. Howdy, Mad. Hey, Vodum, Darkstar, how are you? Let me get in here. Dave Filoni probably was given that job. Hello, Angelique. Last year, when they started to restructure Lucasfilm, I kind of believe my packages. Oh, I hate this. I kind of believe that the plans were in place for Kennedy's departure back then. Just some of the stuff that the rumors were last year, some of the things I was told, some of the things other people with better connections than me were told, kind of make me feel like when Kathy leaves, we're going to announce the new leadership of Lucasfilm, and the big hey, Senator Dave. Oh, cool. Well, you can listen and work out. Basically they were going to make a big announcement, I think, next May, for the God, my back itches. Hate that. For the new leadership at Lucasfilm at Star Wars Celebration. And I think what happened was, and I think the thing that precipitated it was the Leslie Headland fiasco. Because from what I gather, and there's no reason why we shouldn't believe it, the Bobs were not happy. The Bobs were like, with her over that. You didn't let it get past us. You just went and did it. Anyway, which is, it's something that someone who thinks she's untouchable would do. But also the fact that you had the rumor of the money dude showing up and being royally pissed that at least a somewhat better version of The Rise of Skywalker had been filmed. And hey, Jeremy, and it was trashed by Kennedy. It was, I had been told that they had to take down those big set pieces. Hey, Chris, huge ones, like how they use Indiana Jones, Star Wars, big stuff like that. Okay. They had to cost millions to take it down. Had to cost millions to rebuild it. So how much, just in repurposing sets, okay, did it cost? That movie had to cost $500 million in the end. And I'm not including marketing. And if you think about the marketing wasn't nearly as strong as it had been for the Force Awakens and the Last Shithead. Okay. So I think if we're going with the variety story, and you can believe it, I have questions about it, and the reason why is because when it's an Access Media paper or network, you should. Morning. Yeah. Well, that and the fact that Alan Horn um, probably ushered in a lot of the Brie Larson shit too. Um, I don't really see. Yeah, yeah, you're right on that one, Matt Piranha. But I would say after all that happened, and they had her come in, and is she allowed to OK TV shows anymore? I'm not even going to go that far. I don't know. I mean, after my conversations with Cameron, um, I'm going to assume that the only thing she could really do is sign checks and stuff after all that happened. Okay, and of course, allow her minions at Lucasfilm, who probably didn't want to believe what they'd been hearing or didn't even know, to attack Gina. You gotta understand this rewriting Ripley thing was put out there at a certain time for a reason. Hey, old redneck nerd, and it was put out there to protect the story group. Okay? That's what that was. Those girls then turn out to be scapegoats, and they get thrown under the bus by Pablo and the rest of them when it doesn't work out. And it didn't work out. Where are they now? Where is the great V and Kate? Okay? I mean, these are questions that need to be answered. All right, very emotionally, yeah, and that's exactly what she did. Um, if you notice, I've got this, I didn't notice it before, on the who's following who thing on Pablo's private account. He's following Rewriting Ripley. And underneath it, it says, been thrown in the Hudson since October 2019. That's when he went silent on that. I want you guys to understand that the rumblings of change have been happening probably since 2018 and probably under the table before when Iger was planning on leaving and trying to figure out who would be a good successor and talking with the board about it, that all of this stuff had been on the table about what to do with Kennedy, with the story group, and all that, because the money people are like, we can't do this anymore. We can't. They're costing us billions. Billions have been left on the table by these people. Think about it. So I think they put out the structure of what it was going to look like. Filoni was going to take that role. I think what is going on now is that with what happened to Gina, and I have a lot to say about that, by the way, and a lot of people won't like what I have to say, but I'm here specifically to save Star Wars and for the culture, not just to support one person. And I think we're kind of missing the point. All right. And to be honest, I'm really kind of wondering at all the selfishness going on. But look, I really think that the Gina thing did precipitate a lot of, we need to start this now. We need to get this done. We need to start moving now. Because you've got Pablo attacking Star Wars Theory on his private account and then suddenly putting it on his public account and then being forced to at least try to apologize. You've got the High Republic looking like coming out as a disaster and getting worse by the day. You've got and then Gina, the announcement that she was no longer going to be working with Lucasfilm, that they were cutting ties. No, nothing was said in that leaked press release as being fired. So I think that there was either negotiations for the new show, The Rangers of the New Republic, or a different show for her, or because they announced it in December, and now, since all this shit happened, it's been shelved indefinitely, which, I'm sorry, indefinitely does not say canceled, okay? Indefinitely says, we will pick this up when we can, okay? That I think that a lot of stuff is moving ahead now. In fact, after speaking with Cameron and some other people, Kennedy's already gone. She's already gone. Go if you're on Twitter and look at that public account Pablo has. Go look at it. There's a weird, strange tone to it. Okay? Like, time is growing short for him at Lucasfilm. I don't know. So, but I really do think that the Gina Carano mess really forced Disney to move faster than they wanted. Now, here's a message for Gina, because Drunk was talking about it, and this is also a message for Black Pillars. Hey, Troy. Yeah, well, you're right, and Troy's got a point there. There are active changes going on at Lucasfilm. I know Doomcock is going to come out with another video. The guys at Midnight's Edges are talking about the Eternals today, and I'm a koala in the rain, no fucks given on that. I mean, I'll listen, but it's like, I don't care. It's Marvel, and I fucking don't care. But when it was announced that they were cutting ties with Gina, everybody was upset. I was upset. I woke up at 3 a.m, saw what was going on. Mazaris. Oh, and here's Mazaris is in the hospital right now. He's got something going on with his foot. So a few prayers for him. He's a good friend of mine. He's my brother. And I'm really worried about him. So if you guys could send up a prayer for him, I would appreciate it. But and if he's listening, Maze, got your back, buddy. Anyway, when all that happened, everybody jumped on the Gina bandwagon. She was canceled by her management, basically a pariah in Hollywood over, something that was innocuous. And, it's really funny. That tweet, the context was vastly different than what the people thought it was. This is how stupid leftists are. All right, but so here's the deal. I like her. I'm going to support her. First off, jumping on the Ben Shapiro bandwagon might not have been a good idea. Now you're stuck. Okay? The reason why I say this is there are ways of getting back into the main line filmmaking that are not setting yourself up to be stuck permanently in the conservative ghetto with Scott Baio, Kevin Sorbo, and others. Okay? And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen to her. Okay? She deserves better. But, that being said, no, wait. If you want to see how someone rehabbed himself back into the fold in Hollywood, get a hold of Mel Gibson and talk to him. okay? Because he really did say some anti-Semitic things. He was drunk. That's not an excuse. He really did, okay? So I want you to think about that. That being said, if Jon Favreau, after all this comes out and the changes are made public, and Jon Favreau says, I want to develop the show with you. I want you to, I'm doing this to give Cara Dune her own TV show. It's very important to how I'm building this universe. If you don't say yes, it suddenly didn't become about doing the right thing. It became everything about you. And I can't respect somebody who is like that. Okay. Everything I know about Jon Favreau is great. All right. He's a good guy. He's on the fan side. And with all the shit that went down, to tell him no because you're still licking your wounds over something that happened that he had nothing to control over, but the people that did it are gone, and you still say no? This is a lot. This is a lot. Okay? And I can't respect somebody who would do that. And I really, really mean that. You know, this is not about one person. Okay? This never has been about one person. All right? Star Wars is just the biggest pillar of film, of the film industry that the left has successfully invaded, like, you know, deer ticks, okay? And we have a chance to get it back and running again. But if Jon Favreau feels he needs you, Gina, say yes. If Disney reaches out and apologizes, if Bob Chapek calls you and apologizes and says, we really like you back, you better do it, okay? The reason is this. The fans want you back. And if the fans mean anything to you, because now you've got a fan base, and you got the fan base not because you were in other movies, it's because you were Cara Dune in Star Wars. All right? I mean, you're still talking about Cara Dune. You know, people are selling the Marshall t-shirts. You better come back if they ask you, okay? And to the people saying, no, I didn't want to, no, 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 no. Let me tell you something. You're more concerned about how you feel, your fifis, which are irrelevant here, than you are with what's good for the franchise. All right? And that is bad. That is bad. What you want is irrelevant. What's good for Star Wars is the only thing that counts. And right now, Jon Favreau and what he needs I agree, Troy, but I'm just saying that. Yeah, I know, C-Man. I'm going to get to it. You know, God, now I lost my train of thought. Because, you know, when I go on a stream saying, she's so happy and she's doing this thing and she's got her dream and all this. And so, I'm not here for one person. I'm here for Star Wars. Okay. And to the people who are black pilling everybody, shut the fuck up. I am fucking sick of it. Okay. You know, none of you people actually gave a shit about the franchise anyway. All right. And that's the bottom line. All you did was worry about how you felt about things. Your fifis. All right, your fifis. And what do we all say to SJWs when they scream, my fifis were hurt? We don't fucking care. Your fifis aren't relevant. Okay? All right? And that's what this is about. Okay? If you really love Star Wars, if you really care about George Lucas's legacy, if you really care about little boys needing heroes too, whether they be fictional or not, then why are you blackpilling people? And I think actually negativity and people constantly saying negative things and ignoring what's in front of them. I mean, just what's in front of them. Toys being uncanceled. Gina showing up on posters, getting an Emmy nomination. And yet, no, she's not going to come back. She's happy what she's doing. I mean, these are people who haven't even talked to her about it, about all this. Stop it, okay? Just stop it. And the reason why I'm saying that is this. It is bigger than her. It is bigger than you. And it's not just, it's even bigger than Star Wars. This is just the main cornerstone. All right? Because Marvel can come and go. Star Wars is timeless, which is why the left wanted it. Kennedy and her minions practice basic Maoism. Destroy the past, kill it if you have to. Act like it never happened. If Doomcock is right about Kennedy wanting to make it like she was the one that invented Star Wars, that is Maoism. That's what we're fighting. All right? And it'll happen everywhere. Look at critical race theory, trying to erase, objective history with this racist crap. Yeah, Star Wars is bigger than Star Wars. Okay? It is. And so if Favreau and Chapek call you, Gina, and say, we need you back, you say yes. Okay? And then make it so we all know. Because it'll put a lot of people's minds at ease. It'll calm people down. It'll show the negative people that they were wrong. Okay? Because all they do is I'll give an example. And it's not only an example of negativity, but it's also an example of ageism. There are people who are, let's put it this way, fanboys who probably live in mommy's basement. And they go on the Indiana Jones page and attack Harrison Ford for being 78. He can't do it anymore. They should recast it. He's old. He looks blah, blah, blah. It's like, and then you look at their pictures. They're fat. They're out of shape. They're middle-aged themselves. All right. They probably can't walk 3 feet without needing oxygen. But there they are, freaking out. I don't want her to do an episode. I want her to do the show. Okay? And the reason is this. If that's what John was building, then that's what I want. Because I'm telling you right now, right now, he's the only one I trust. I love Dave Filoni, but Dave Filoni needs a Jon Favreau above him to steer him in the right direction. The reason why Mandalorian was so good is because of Jon Favreau, not Dave Filoni, okay? The Ahsoka episode is great. It was also kind of Dave Filoni, all right? I want to see Star Wars. Unless it's George Lucas, I don't want to know who wrote it. I don't want to see their thumbprints on it. Do you understand what I'm saying? But anyway, back to Indiana Jones. So we've got a group of people attacking Harrison Ford for being older. Now it's come out that the character that Mads Mikkelsen may be playing is one of the German scientists that were brought over to the U.S. through Operation Paperclip. Google it if you want. So now we get these people going, oh, it's going to be Indian space, it's going to suck. Without knowing what Operation Paperclip is, because these people are fucking morons. You've got sources saying they're going to film in Tunisia. They're going to film in Sicily. They're going to film in Scotland, Ireland, and Utah. That doesn't sound to me like being at Ellis Tree Studios in front of a green board pretending to float through the fucking cosmos. All right? And it just goes to show you the lack of knowledge some people have about history. Recent history, by the way. Okay? All right. Operation Paperclip wasn't 1,000 years ago. It was 1945 and 46. And we were able to get the German scientists that helped build the rockets that got us to the moon. Okay? And if you look at that history right there, and then you look at the Cold War, and you've got a German scientist who was a Nazi scientist. You've got, I said Nazi, YouTube, go scream and yell at me, I don't fucking care. You've got the Soviets. What are they looking for? Gotta remember what was going on in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Hitler wanted the Ark of the Covenant. He also probably wanted the Spear of Destiny, the Heart of the Ocean, whatever else fucking thing that had mystical powers. Well, it's going to be set in the 60s during the Cold War. And I imagine... Now, there's a rumor saying Mikkelsen's character is going to be the bad guy. Probably not. The other guy, I can't think of his name. He's a big actor. He looks like a Russian. I think he's probably going to be the bad guy. Okay. All right. But they're looking, I think, probably for something that would help or give an idea into some sort of spiritual realm, whatever. Oh, thanks, I guess, Chris. But anyway, so it's gonna be interesting to see what Sakori. If you're one of those moon landing deniers, I'm done. Okay, I don't talk to people like you. All right. You want to see me set me off? Start that shit. My foot, your ass. Boom. Yeah, and he'll be great. So I think what you're going to see is Indy having to team up with him to find something before the Russians do. I mean, because, and if you look at the history of that whole time period, Stalin kind of made Hitler look like a Boy Scout. I mean, he really did. What they did in the 30s in the Ukraine was an abomination. And I know it is, but I've run into moon landing deniers, and it's like, I mean, they're, I hate people like that. I really do. I hate people like that. But anyway, it's going to be interesting, but I want to talk a little bit about that too. But we again, there'll be more coming out this week, I'm sure. It's like once a week or once every 2 weeks we get another kind of hint about what's going on. I do follow, and I get email updates from Variety and Forbes now. Oh, thanks, Chris. So there's, and I really think that the Gina thing was a forcing function to make all of the stuff that they were going to announce next year now. Okay. And, and to the people saying that Favreau wouldn't want the job, why wouldn't he want the job? If he is like me and fell in love with movie making because he saw Star Wars when he was a kid, why wouldn't he want the job? I mean, that was everybody's dream. That was the idea of being able to play in George Lucas's playground and carry on his legacy was always something that I thought of before I got sick as something that I would love to do. And the idea of being the first woman, a woman who could do that, was a big thing. It never occurred to me in my life that we would get somebody like Kathleen Kennedy, who's in my job or was in my job, running around trying to fuck everything up. Oh, it's a lot of responsibility, but if you love it, that is just part of it. If you love something, you hit it with all the passion you have. You know what I'm saying? It's like a really good priest with their vocation. Every day you wake up, you do your morning prayers, you do mass, you do your business, but you wake up invigorated to do it. You do it with abandon because you love it. And Kathleen Kennedy didn't love it. I mean, like, she was the absentee mom. Just a second. 1 second. Doodle-doo. All right. Hi, guys. Gotta blow my nose again. Anyway, but that's what you do. And the way I've heard people talk about Jon Favreau is that's what he does. So when people say, "Oh, he won't do it," he won't be able to make all the movies he wants. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Kathleen Kennedy still has work at the Kennedy Marshall Company. No, she didn't check the dailies. I mean, Tom was right about that. Oh, and I gotta say something. Some YouTuber was put a video up about 5 days ago, and it shut up in my mentions. And if I ever talk to that guy, I can't remember his name, but if he ever shows up here, I'll remember it. I'm gonna break him. Trashing Tom, but saying he doesn't know him. And then making an excuse about everything and apologizing to one of the Me Too chicks. And, I gotta say this. You shouldn't make videos about these things if you don't know the whole story. Not that I do know the whole story, but let it go. Hey, Gingerbread Man. I was just, it pissed me off, to be honest. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So why wouldn't Favreau take the job if they offered it to him? I mean, I believe he's already the president of Lucasfilm. I believe that the reason why Pablo is acting all nice and everything is because I think he's about ready to get shown the door. And I think a lot of those guys have already been told that. All right? And it's going to come out in public. That will be public. It's not that I know people. It's I've been doing this for a long time. ever since, like, I think mid-spring 2017. And it's really interesting to me watching. I mean, I got dinged by Facebook or YouTube. I lost about 400 subscribers, and I'm just starting to crawl back. I need about 250 more, I think, and then I'll be back. I mean, I want 2,000. That's my goal. But I've met a lot of people on the way. Some people rub me wrong. I know I rubbed some people wrong because, I don't play the fake game. And a lot of people, especially some of the girls, are there to either sell themselves or, hey, Mags, or, they're not, or to get attention. I'm not there to do that. I really care about what's going on here. I don't make any money at this. I thought about actually opening up a t-shirt shop that says Smuggler's Cantina on it, but I don't have enough people right now, subscribers, and I don't really know if I want to have over 100,000. At one time I thought it would be fun, but I kind of like keeping everything kind of close to the vest. Talking to people who are very just interested in what's going on with Lucasfilm and how we as fans can affect it. And, I'm not going to say I'm a big influencer like Doomcock is or Clownfish or my boys at Midnight's Edge or Culture Casino or any of these people. But, I do my best to give I don't know, Sakari. I do my best, hey Dave, to give voice to the fans who really care about what's going on, who, grew up Star Wars, and of course the guys at Echo Base who are some of the coolest people on the planet. And I'm for the first time since right after Solo, I really feel like we're finally getting back on the right track. Well, here's the deal, old redneck nerd. You'll notice that Doomcock isn't, because he's not. And he's not a negative person anyway. You notice that Andre at Midnight's Edge isn't negative. You have to look at what's going on critically. And again, I'm going to say this too. The more wins we get, the more they're going to realize that they're going to have, a lot of people will have a line of outrage that they can't run with anymore. All right? Like Filoni gets this job. He's a hack. Blah, blah, blah. He's Kennedy. No, he's not Kennedy's. He's a politician. He said what he said to keep his job. Because that's what Kathleen Kennedy is. She will gut you. Okay, she will gut you. When she was at the height of her game in 2017, when he said some things at a women's conference that made me go, she would have fired him if he didn't go and do that. He was probably told he had to. That's how you keep your job. He's a politician. But if you look at what he's produced since Favreau shown up, it's far better than what he had when he was forced to work with Kennedy's bullshit. And I mean, Rebels had Carrie Hart flying around and bothering him. And it also had Carrie Hart in Resistance, and Resistance sucked ass. Okay, and he knows that. He knows that. I mean, if you're him and you've been at Lucasfilm since 2005, you sat at George Lucas's knee listening to everything he said. And you get these jackasses who don't know anything about Star Wars. You know, when you look at that, you got to understand. Yeah, he couldn't be happy with any of this. With any of it. I can imagine him going home after a day of meetings with Carrie Hart saying, we need more black. We need more women. We need lesbians. You know, we need gay men. You know, and all the rest of that woke fucking shit. And him going to his wife, honey, I can't. And her going, I mean, his wife is pretty woke, but, you know, not everything has to be woke. You know what I'm saying? In fact, there could be a place for woke. It's just not in big budget franchises like Star Wars. Okay? And you know, it's gotten to the point where I want the woke shit to just go away and never be seen again. That's me. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, back to Doomcock and the guys at Midnight's Edge, they know a lot of people. I mean, Script Doctor is really connected, okay? And I just listen to what they say. But, you know, I've said this before. If you want to know what's going on, oh, God, paint peel. I'd let a rabid skunk loose in the room. I would have. But anyway, how you look at things, you take the rumors and you look at what you see in the trades. Okay? If you don't understand that there's something going on and you need to believe that Kennedy is there embedded like a fucking wood tick, you're the one with the problem. And you're the one that doesn't want things to get better. Because, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I know people in my life that are very happy being pissed off and talking about the skies falling 24 fucking 7. Okay? I mean, I've got people I know that are devout Catholics that are, oh, the shit's gonna hit the fan and we've all got to be. It's like, did you get a phone call from heaven? Did Jesus text you? You're Catholic, shut up. You don't know any of this shit. None of us do. Okay? I mean, that's, you know, but they're everywhere and they're in every walk of life. Okay? Black pill people who aren't happy. And and I'll tell you something. The YouTubers that are negative, they don't want this to happen. Because they're gonna lose their outrage platform there. So all they're gonna have is what? Brie Larson? Amber Heard? I mean, fucking cares. Hey, Vader fanatic. I mean, who really cares? Now, let's go to back to Filoni. So we get this thing that shows up on the website. Here's why I think the changes that they were going to make slowly through the year between last summer and Star Wars Celebration in 2022 is this. This was an announcement. It was not a mistake. It was an announcement. Okay. And oh yeah, well, you know, no matter what, I've got videos that didn't age well because I thought, oh, that's cool, Chris. So we live next door to a Methodist Church that is a clarion. And yesterday they were playing Ave Maria. I don't have the heart to tell the minister there. Yeah, we're Catholic. We really love it. you know, you're papists, whatever, man. But anyway, so yeah, I think it was an announcement. I really, really do. I've told people that. Andre thinks it was an announcement. Cameron thinks it was. The timing is all there. They're actually playing another song that we actually sang in church too. But there's a lot of crossovers now, so but it's kind of bizarre hearing a Protestant church clarion playing Ave Maria. I mean, it's funny. It's really funny. I mean, the first time I heard it, I was like, am I hearing what I'm hearing? And no, I don't have the heart to tell her. It's a female minister too, which is, it's another long story. Anyway, yeah, it was an announcement. So get ready because it's going to be a very long process to a year from now. Because a year from now is when all this shit that we're finding out was going to be announced. Okay? What's really, it's all really funny. But honestly, I think, like I said, the Gina issue pushed everything ahead. It had to. And again, Gina, if you're listening, okay, what did he say? What did this guy say? Gina, if you're listening, if John Favreau calls you, if Bob Chapek calls you and says, we want you back, you better go back. Okay? Because I'm not buying rebellion t-shirts and fade in t-shirts just because I hate Kathleen Kennedy. I love Star Wars. Okay? All right? And you have to understand that it's bigger than you. But I'll tell you something else. If you don't go back, I would encourage John Favreau to find somebody else to take your spot. All right? Because it is a slap in the face of all the fans that are supporting you now. Again, you didn't get there from all your other movies. You didn't get this recognition. You got there because of Star Wars. Okay? All right? There are a lot of, this franchise has been the jumping off for a lot of really big careers. And it's also been the burying ground for some careers. I mean, for some reason, Mark Hamill never really got okay, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, he's right. I might go, when you're done, put a link to that video in the comments here because I'll go and watch that video. You know, and I'm gonna say this. I really don't care. I will support you. I will kick ass for you. But if you say no, all right, because it just shows all of the stuff that we fought for, all of the stuff that we went after them for, is meaningless, and a lot of people will be hurt, a lot of people. Okay, and that's the bottom line. All right. Now, granted, I know that a lot of shit went down. I know a lot of hard feelings are there, but if those people are gone, and there's every reason to believe they're on their way out right now, you come back. You come back because John wants you back. You come back because the fans want you back. Okay? I mean, and it's, and I do too. I mean, when I hear Drunk say she won't, I don't know where he's getting that unless he's trying to hide something. But the franchise needs her, the fans want her back, and the customer's always right. And it would be a really nasty thing to do to John, to slap him in the face like that. John's a good guy. I mean, I would love to work with him. I think he would be a blast to work with. But hey, Generation X, he's my husband's age. So he's literally the upper end of Generation X like I am. We really did. I mean, my grade school was defined by Star Wars. All right? We get it. We always have. Yeah, and you're right, Chris. I mean, and I also think the people that saying she wouldn't go back are projecting their emotions onto her, and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, and you really can't tell what somebody's feeling if you're not them. All right. Anyway. So anyway, this is all just going to be very interesting. Now, I haven't looked at Disney stocks lately. I kind of quit doing that because I was like, this is such an inflated price. And I also think if she went back, Disney's stocks would go up. Yeah, you're right. It is the best gig in show business. Like I said, a lot of careers got kick-started by that. Harrison Ford, for example, he was a character actor and was barely getting noticed in Hollywood as a contract player back in the late 60s. And if it hadn't been for Francis Ford Coppola needing bookshelves built and George Lucas needing someone to read for Han Solo, he wouldn't have gotten that role. We wouldn't know who he is. All right? That role changed everything. Han Solo for Harrison Ford changed everything. And I got a lot to say to him about that too. And I think he does regret a lot of that now. I mean, I'll tell you where it proves it. I remember I have a friend named John Wells, who's a really good actor, by the way. He was at Star Wars Celebration, and they were in the crowd with the panel, Billy Lord and Mark and Billy D. Williams and George, and everybody was there, and all of a sudden Harrison Ford walked out, and he was like, holy shit. He's like putting all this stuff, oh my God, it's Harrison Ford. And no one thought he was going to come. No one knew he was going to come. He just showed up. I'm going to tell you something. If he hated Han Solo as much as he said, why did he show up to that? Natalie Portman can't stand Star Wars. She won't show up to anything. Harrison Ford did. Okay? Now, you could say, well, part of it is Carrie passing away. Yeah, well, yeah. But still with that, what does that have to do with the character and his experience? And I've got theories on why. Okay? I got theories on that. All right? All right? I think about this stuff. But it's very interesting to me that he showed up there. And when Mark got his star, of course, Harry showed up. He went to the Tross premiere. He was the only, I mean, George Lucas didn't go because he got screwed over. All right? Think about it. You know, even when they screwed his character up, and he knows they did. I mean, I would bet you $1,000 if you sat down and drank shared a glass, a bottle of wine with him, he would tell you that. I know he would. You can't deny it. It's there. The fans were pissed. What the fuck are you guys doing? Okay. Mark is very vocal about how terribly they treated Luke. All right. So, yeah. And that is, I mean, you know, he's, John Favreau is, again, he's one of us. He grew up in that era. He probably walked out of A New Hope and probably saw it the weekend it opened first because it had a small distribution of about 45 theaters, and then it went nuts. And then they opened it all across the country. I saw it in the first week of June when the first weekend it opened in my hometown. And, you know, it was to be there at that time. And you have to understand the feeling of, you know, I don't really care if he's a Luke fan or not. I mean, you know, there was more to Star Wars than Luke, and it's really not about Luke. Anyway, it's about Anakin. But to be there, and experience it when the world was such a, yeah, it could. When the world was in such a shitty place, I mean, think about it. We had gas lines. We had a petroleum embargo. We had hostages. Well, this was before, but you know, it was the Vietnam War just ended, and you know, there was a lot of self-doubt. And we had Jaws, the first big summer blockbuster. Then Rocky came out. And and you can't forget mortgage rates, Dave. And we had a president, Jim McCarter, who was just atrocious. I mean, he was so feckless. You know, it was like having Mr. Rogers on acid be president. Yeah, well, it is rhyming right now because that's what we have now. But at least, you know, Jimmy Carter wasn't senile and demented and suffering from Alzheimer's. You know, and to have Rocky show up and give people of the blue collar, oh, he was clueless, but yeah, you're right. And then Rocky came out. There's grittiness in Rocky, but there's something so glorious about him. Oh, thanks, Troy. That I can't even describe about that movie. I must have seen it 4 or 5 times at the theater. And of course, all the girls fell in love with Sylvester Stallone. And then the next year, Star Wars came out. And then that was it. I mean, the slow sort of change in the culture was happening. And, you know, when you think about the culture itself, we had a lot of really gritty movies. Okay, Chris, that's funny as hell. That's funny. That's the funniest thing I've ever, heard in my life. Um, but anyway, you had the rise of Brit punk, Sex Pistols, The Clash, Susie and the Banshees, all that. You had the rise of American punk, Ramones, Patti Smith Band, uh, Blondie, which is one of my all-time favorite. I mean, Debbie Harry is like, when I was a kid growing up and I wanted to be a singer, she was one of the people I would watch. I would watch her because she was so powerful on the stage. Um, and then, we had, I mean, heavy metal, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, uh, all those people were going on. Uh, we had in disco, the Bee Gees, Gloria Gaynor. You know, music was already better. Okay, far better than it was in the '60s. I mean, the '60s. Um, and that goes for the Beatles too. Okay. Um, and then movies finally caught up, and then 1980 approached. 1980 was there, and we got the second Hollywood golden age. I mean, because there's so much talent. There is just so much talent that Hollywood wanted, needed, and exploited. Now they're like, you're talented, you're not woke, well, you can't work here. Oh, God. Bonjour, Matilda. Oh, geez. All right. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was, the late 70s from 1976 and then on through into the 80s was an epic time for music and an epic time for movie making because the talented young guns, Spielberg, Milius, Lucas, Scorsese, Zemeckis, De Palma, all these guys who were insanely talented, who, were at the feet of Francis Ford Coppola, who isn't that much older than any of them, to be honest, were let loose, and they ran with it. I mean, I'm gonna end it with this: George Lucas changed the way films were made. Period. The technology, what all of that. Oh yeah, yeah. Young Guns is great. All of that. You know, um, Spielberg is another master storyteller. Uh, he's just. I watched War Horse the other day, and that first off, the horse is beautiful. I mean, the horse is. The Brits know how to breed beautiful, well-made animals. They just do. It's like looking at a Rembrandt. You can't find fault on that animal. But anyway, again, I'm going to say this: the timing of the Filoni thing was intentional. I do agree that a lot of these bad leaks are coming from the the jackasses inside Lucasfilm and the shells in order to hurt the fan base who forced the changes. They're pissed. In fact, if and when it gets announced and we see that Luke is getting his own show, that they're actually going to turn Star Wars into a multiverse where you got the ST over here, but everything else is going over this way. I'm going to get a mug, and it's going to say Molly Damon's tears. Molly and Alex's tears. I'm going to do this. I'm going to fucking do that. Anyway, so that was but yeah, that was that thing with Filoni was an announcement. Oh, we just forgot to put it on there. Oh, bullshit. You people didn't intend to do it till next May. What changed? Oh, I know. The firing of Gina Carano. That's what changed. All right. To Gina, if they call you, you better go back. You better go back, because we fans have not put ourselves out on the line for somebody to say no. Okay. Well, I would. I mean, I would. I'd like to know if I could actually do something like that and not run into the censors here with all the since I don't do this for money, they can't really shut me up and flag me for whatever. So, anyway, I gotta go. Midnight's Edge is on, so if you guys want to go over there, that'd be great. The guys, I'll be over there too after I see that video. And I can't remember who talked about the guy talking about what was really going on, but put a link to that video in the comments. See you guys around the galaxy. Oh, and pray for Mazarus because he's in the hospital with his foot. Be good, behave. I'll see you guys around the galaxy.